In this video, we just wanted to talk about what inquiry is, how you can do it, and how it's done, and also when you can do it, when and where you can do it, what situations it's beneficial. So, inquiry is basically investigating the reality of our thoughts, and especially thoughts that cause suffering. It's also at times allowing the emotions that come with those thoughts to be here, to be in the body and to be felt, rather than sort of moving into distraction or trying to move the attention away or trying to suppress something. And in allowing that, first in investigating the reality of the thoughts, we sort of break the stories and the hold those thoughts have on us. And then in allowing the emotions and the sensations in the body to be here, they can move and sort of process and become something else. Inquiry also, while we allow what's here to be here, also we investigate what's underneath the thoughts, what's at the heart of the emotion, which is generally an identity we have about ourselves, a deficient story, or some deep fear that we have about ourselves, and we allow that to arise, and we look through that as well. So it's also about uncovering unconscious things about ourselves. And then if you really go to the end or to the extreme of inquiry, we can deeply look at the reality of life, what this is, who we are within it, and what we are to each other. So a little bit about how inquiry works. There's only ever a few things happening right now, and that's perception of life, so how we see and how we hear and feel. And then there's thoughts that are occurring in the mind. Most of the time it's about life, defining life, categorizing, judging. And then also there's sensations that happen in the body that are naturally here, but also that like the body's affected by the thoughts that we believe. So if we have a stressful thought, there's a stressful feeling in the body. So we always start with inquiry just with what's here right now, and it will always be some aspect of that. There's nothing that happens that isn't a perception, that isn't a thought, that isn't a feeling. So first off, we just rest. Inquiry is sort of two parts. One is resting with what's here. Meditation, you could call it. In the living inquiries, we just call it resting, natural rest. So we just take some time to allow and embody and feel actually what's here, what's happening in the body. Okay, there's some feeling of fear, so let's investigate that rather than moving away. Also, we allow the thoughts to come into the mind, and we notice how we think. So, is this thought, does it come as a voice in the mind? Does it come as a picture? And then also we notice this sense of self here that's experiencing these things, and we sort of are just resting with all of these things, allowing the attention to be where it is, and at times, because we resist so much, like the stressful thoughts come in two ways. Either this should be happening, or this shouldn't be happening, and then whatever permutations of those two thoughts. So we rest and we allow all of those processes and thinking to happen. And again, because we want to move away from all of that, generally we don't take the time just to sit and be here with what's happening. So that's a real integral part of inquiry. And then the second part is then investigating in the different sort of areas. So in my thinking at the moment, there's a thought of anger, and so we look at that and we investigate where the anger is in that thought, where actually that person is that's angry, or where actually the anger is in that thought. And then also do the same thing in the body. So there's a feeling of anger here. How do I know that it's anger? What's the connections between the thoughts and the sensation? And then also the I that seems to be at the centre of both of these things. We look at each section as it arises and actually see, the truth of it. I guess it seems it's a little bit hard to explain. It's more something that you need to experience. So in investigating, the reality of the thing that we're looking for, we see it's not what we thought it was, and then it's allowed to move through. We feel, and then we strip the meanings of the feeling, and then that's allowed to move through. And this is how we investigate what's here, what's real. And it sort of becomes a way of living too, actually. A more genuine way of being here with what's here, rather than this constant moving away, moving towards more things, moving into addictions and pleasures, and moving forward and moving away from what's behind, and just being with what's here.
It's a wide subject, even that it's like kind of the Utum is like a symbol. So we did a little list that we could go a little bit through where to use it, so it can give a little bit idea of different things. And first, one thing is that you can just start to inquire into these conscious beliefs about yourself. So just starting to maybe bring the curiosity in, and just like, okay, who am I? What am I really? What kind of thoughts or beliefs I have about myself, and with these thoughts that I really believe that they are true, that this is what I am and this is how it is. So
you mean like conscious roles that we play? So I'm a mother, or is that what you mean?
Whatever thoughts it is. It can be that strongly, for example, I am a mother, and of course we don't deny this life, like everyday life, that it seems like we are mothers, and we are
Finnish
and Australia, Sweden,
male and female.
We did the video about where I was inquiring into this Finnish person. So all this inquiry happens in the level of the mind. So everything happens in the mind with your thoughts. So basically just seeing, I guess, the seriousness of it. It will loosen up also the beliefs around some belief. So for example, if we use that I am a mother, so yes, in a way you are a mother, but you can inquire it also, are you in a deepest level, what you are in a deepest level, and then also what beliefs are around being a mother. There can be massive reliefs and freedom to start to inquire what is behind of some conscious belief and around it. So it's very wide to start to go on. What you can do.
And she's talking about like being curious, just being curious about what things that I believe. That's a nice way to start inquiry. What things do I actually believe that I am? And it's a nice. It takes a little bit of the seriousness. It's a good way of putting it.
So that is one one thing where you can use the inquiry. It's a really good one. Then we can consciously believe something about ourselves and others and life, but then we can also unconsciously believe in something. So we are not aware of something that we are believing in ourselves, and but inquiry has the possibility to bring those unconscious beliefs also into awareness, and then it's possible to look at them and then inquire them that how the reality of those beliefs as well, and like those unconscious beliefs usually are something that we have denied and we have pushed down, and they have some.
Yeah, it's usually something that we don't want to see about ourselves. You know, some like we want to see ourselves as good. We want to have this image of ourselves as good, but you can't not have an image of yourself as good without the image of being bad. And those are the things that we push down and we don't want to see, and we aren't necessarily aware of the drive and the actions that stem from those unconscious identities.
Yeah, there was this one video we did where we talk about a little bit unconscious beliefs, and then I told the example of the work where came this belief, I'm not enough. So these unconscious beliefs are something that they are mirroring through our environment, through life situations or other people, and we don't necessarily in that moment are aware what it is, but it's causing us some. It can cause anxiety or guilt or fear or whatever that we are experiencing, but we don't necessarily are aware that okay, why am I feeling like that? But then when we stop and we start to inquire it, like you said earlier, like feeling the emotion is important in inquiry, because then under that emotion can come the thought and the belief about ourselves, and then we can start to inquire it.
Yeah, inquiry works not only with like feeling what's here and being aware of what's here, but when you give space for those thoughts and feelings, then it's quite amazing. Insight arises, so different perspectives arise that allow this kind of hold or this strong holding that we have of something, some identity to break. You know, it's amazing how it arises. It doesn't come through thought, it comes from a deeper place, and it shows us that we're not who we think we are, and also we're not just who we think we are.
Yeah.
What else have you got?
Well, then we have these like also these unconscious memories, which are which can be related to some painful belief about ourselves, or then the experience might have been then so painful that we have denied the feeling around it. So either the belief is painful or the feeling is painful, or both of them are painful. This is usually can happen as a childhood things, because we don't have this capacity necessarily to feel those things, and later in adults as well. If the situation is something that we don't look at it in that moment and inquire it in that moment, then we might deny it and then just push it somewhere, push it in unconsciousness, and
but it stays there. It drives our behaviour, you know. And can I also say here that the memory, it's a really good way to understand that it's the belief about something that causes the suffering, not the thing itself. It's really easy to see with the past, with memories, because those situations aren't happening anymore. So the situation itself can't cause suffering. It's only our thinking and our repetition of that story that happens in our mind that causes the suffering. It's a really, really good way to see that it's a belief believing in that belief that causes the suffering, not the situation itself. And yeah, it's a really important point to see.
Yeah, and then that some life situation or some person can kind of mirror or reflect some memory that is unconscious, and again we are not aware of it in that moment, but some situation can cause us like some strong emotion, and it necessarily make any sense to us in that way. Oh, why am I feeling like that? But when we start to inquire it, we stop and we start to allow again that what is coming there, we can allow that memory come into awareness, and we can just look at it and then release it. So the memory won't cause us any more pain. We can still remember it maybe later or not, but it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't affect in our life anymore. It's not mirrored through the environment anymore. It's not mirrored through other people anymore, that memory or that belief. So this is a big part as well, the inquiry, because you can go into very deep. What is there? What am I really believed? Is there some memories that are still driving my actions, my beliefs, my life situations? So
trauma. We consider this trauma.
Yeah.
Something from the past that we are still holding on to, that still has this really heavy meaning for us, and it's inquiry is perfect for trauma.
Yeah, it's gentle. It's so gentle, and it's like allowing everything to come in its time. There is no push.
Yeah.
There is no push. So everything is coming in its own time, and so that's, I think it's really beautiful in it.
Yeah.
And also it comes then that sometimes some memory or memories or some beliefs, they have been pushed a long time down, that they might make some physical symptoms, that we might have created a cancer or all kind of headache, anything that when this denying and pushing is so strong that then it's like body is starting to give the symptoms, and it's actually beautiful how our body, it's our friend, that it's showing us that, hey, there is something now that is good to look at.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
That we can have a medicine, and we can definitely have all those of things to help those symptoms, but under there is always something in a deeper level.
Some thought that we believe about ourselves or about life.
Yeah.
And the body is, like in that pain or in that, disease, it's the body and the mind that are saying, hey, this is time to look at this. You can't push it away anymore.
It is beautiful.
Inquiry is really good for that. Really good to stop the suffering around pain, and to allow the pain to be as it is, and not make it worse with the story that happens about it. I'm a victim of this, or blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's actually like going straight into the body, and if there is some sickness or whatever, it's actually, you are actually staying with it, and then this is like a process of then looking what is coming under, and then releasing one layer, and then when you release one layer, then another layer can be released. So it's like this process of releasing. So and with that you can take a medicine and everything if you want.
We're not denying anything.
No.
Like, we're not saying that you shouldn't do anything, and
No.
Feel as best as you can. But just recognise that like you're being drawn to something. Your attention's being drawn, and you can keep looking away. You can keep trying to push it down, but it will stay there, and it will get. The more you push, the more it will come into your life.
Yeah, like it's like it's interesting how life is working. That actually the life, what it's mirroring, it's helping us. Like our environment and life isn't against us, even that we can feel like that, because it's so honest. It's like so honestly pushing us to look. That our body is doing that, our body is telling that, and the environment is telling that.
Everything outside.
Yeah, so
mind.
Yeah, so everything there is like inviting us to, hey, look deeper, look inside.
Who are you? What are you?
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's nice how you say it.
Yeah, it's beautiful because it has this capacity to look deeper. I think that is the whole key in inquiry. Just look deeper, stop, and the beauty is that when we do that, you can, when things are starting to reveal to you, things aren't how we believe they were, and life isn't how we believe they are. That is the
and we aren't what we thought we were.
Yeah.
At the core of all of this is this sense of me.
Yeah.
And this is an invitation to look, rather than just assume. It doesn't really matter. You are who you are. You don't have to do this, but this is something that
it's beautiful.
we enjoy.
It's beautiful opportunity to look and it's definitely being free, and to be free from those beliefs. It's massive release, and then also from diseases and things like that. It has the capability to go really, 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 really deep. So for me, it has been smashing to understand that not going outside, but this is actually helping. It's not against me. It's like it's
Life,
just feel life and everything, that it's not like the most what we are afraid of, the most that we think that are real. Those are the things that it's good to look at. The beauty is that it's not the coast there, but like it's not against that, but it's actually where we need to look at, and it will be seen that it wasn't nothing. We talk about this earlier, other video.
The more you turn towards it, the more you can to turn towards it.
The trust will increase. You will definitely, your trust will increase. You will start to trust this process. You will trust the life. You will start to trust that, okay, whatever it is, this moment is perfect how it is. Like your life situation, they have been how they have been. It's perfect how they've been. Things has been happening how they have been happening, and one thing has led to in this moment, and it's like, releasing this. I could go on with this. We're gonna make another videos about trust and trust. But it's amazing what capacity it is, and I guess we talk about the diseases, and then also you mentioned addictions, and then depressions and everything under that, and then also like big subjects. You can start to straight inquire what we believe about death, what we believe about God. Is there punishing God? What we believe, all these beliefs that cause us fear and guilt and suffering, we can start to inquire and look at, are they really real? What is the reality of them? That we've been told these things, from our parents, and we've been told this through our environment, government, and social media, and to ourselves. And so basically we are starting to just inquire the beliefs about everything, and then we can go as deep as we want. But this is beautiful tool to do it. So yeah.
Have you got anything else?
I think this is it's okay. One thing I want to still say is that, because we are inquiring that we call it storyteller, this loud voice in our mind, but then this intuitive part will come and support us, and these inside parts that knowing in a level of mind that we can't describe and talk about.
Yeah, that's really nice too.
So this
it's full, and you know the difference when it happens. I think everyone's experienced insight in some ways, but this definitely allows for those things to arise quite a lot.
So this inquiry is something that you don't need to believe in. It actually will happen to you, that you will get these insights, and you will actually start to this intuitive voice will start to increase, and you can start to trust that and life. So it's nothing you need to believe anymore. It's happening to you when you start to do it. So that's
nothing that you need to hold on to either.
Yeah.
It's present moment living.
Yeah.
Rather than living from some idea.
It's definitely interesting process, and we are all here going through this journey. So it's like it's interesting. Yeah, but I guess this is it for.
Yeah. So feel free to message us. I mean, we're doing this for work, but really we just want to share this. It's a beautiful thing just to share. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Give us a call if you need some help or if you want to know something.
Yeah, we are happy to support in this, and then of course do it by yourself as well as you wish. Sometimes it's nice to share something and to be heard. Sometimes just to be heard is like massive release in that.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
It's like So just saying that.
That's all.
That's all I can.
High five.